Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're zeroing in on the literal core of our physical mobility, the hip joint. It's the vital bridge that links our upper and lower halves together, making everything from standing to balancing even possible. But what happens when that crucial structure starts to wear down?
Well, get this. It's actually kind of wild, but human hip joints have a built-in durability lifespan of roughly 70 years. Yeah, 70 years. That's essentially their natural expiration date. But here's the catch. Because of our modern, super sedentary lifestyles, a lack of targeted exercise, and, weight gain, a lot of folks are just blowing right past that limit. They're running into severe hip trouble as early as their 50s or 60s. We often hear that humans age from the hips up, right? Well, sitting around all day aggressively accelerates that 70-year timeline.
So I really got to ask you, do you want to walk comfortably until your final days? When your hips start failing, it's not just some minor inconvenience. Your risk of stumbling shoots up, long walks become totally impossible, and honestly, it creates a fast track to becoming bedridden. The stakes are incredibly high here. But the good news is we've got a clear, practical roadmap derived straight from expert research to help you take back control of your health span.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Our roadmap is broken down into a very specific sequential routine. We'll hit the 70-year crisis, Step 1, flexibility and balance, Step 2, range of motion, Step 3, stability and strength, and finally, safe practice. And listen, doing these in order is the absolute secret to success here. Skipping ahead is a one-way ticket to an injury.
All right, let's start with the 70-year crisis. We really need to understand how imbalances and stiffness accelerate the aging of the joint before we get into the routine itself.
So there are two completely different types of flexibility you absolutely have to master. On one side, we have physiological flexibility. That's just the passive stiffness of the muscle itself, like can you stretch it out? But on the flip side is functional flexibility, which is your ability to actively control and move that muscle using your own strength. This brilliantly illustrates the crucial difference between a muscle simply being passively loose and a muscle you can actually engage and control in the real world.
Moving right along to Step 1, flexibility and balance. This is where we build our foundation, assessing and fixing those left and right imbalances before we do anything else. Now, the hip is remarkably complex. It's actually controlled by 23 distinct muscles. Trying to check all 23 would literally take you all day. So, to keep you from getting totally overwhelmed while restoring your baseline balance, we just need to focus on 5 core muscle groups. We've got the hamstrings in the back of your thighs, the quadriceps in the front, the gluteus maximus, your buttocks, the adductors on your inner thigh, and the abductors on the outer thigh. Honestly, checking and stretching just these 5 is the ultimate hack for getting your balance back on track.
But hold on, stop right there, literally. Do not go out for a run or start lifting weights yet. Seriously, if you have an imbalance, say your right side is overdeveloped and your left side is stiff, exercising is going to actively worsen your joint alignment. The bones in your legs will physically pull out of place. Mastering your balance first through gentle stretching of those 5 core groups is absolutely mandatory.
Okay, let's keep the momentum going and move to Step 2. Now that we have balance, we're looking at range of motion for fluid, pain-free movement. Remember those 23 distinct muscles we just talked about? Well, a lot of them are tiny and buried deep inside the joint. So to expand your range of motion, you first need to do a really simple seated leg rocking motion to loosen them all up. You literally just sit on the floor, relax your stomach completely, and gently sway your legs inward and outward for about 30 seconds. It's like a pre-workout wiggle that wakes up all 23 muscles before you attempt any deeper dynamic stretches.
Now, what's really interesting here is this progressive dynamic stretch called knee dropping. You start seated with your feet wide and slowly drop both knees to one side. You move safely through these levels. First, a 45-degree drop. Once that's feeling easy, you drop to 90 degrees, hovering just above the floor. Level 3 is touching the floor without letting your opposite hip lift up too much. And finally, you remove your supporting hands, crossing them in front of you. That drastically increases the load on your core, safely building up your range of motion without risking an injury.
And the absolute final piece of Step 2 is the pigeon pose. This is a high-load stretch to target those absolute deepest hip muscles, basically moving the thigh bone right from its root. But because it places an intense yoga-like load on the joint, you really have to be careful. Only attempt the pigeon pose after thoroughly warming up with those rocking and knee-dropping exercises we just went over.
All right, on to Step 3, stability and strength.
It's time to lock in all that mobility and balance we just created by building some real functional strength.
Consider this your quick workout cheat sheet. The hip is notoriously tough to train with standard weights because so many muscles are working together at once. Instead, we use these 3 exercises, specifically designed to target real-world functional strength. We have stability training to create an unstable environment, the kneeling stand, which mimics the complex daily movement of pushing your hips forward, and the split stand-up to build some serious glute power.
Let's look a little closer at that stability training. The setup is incredibly simple but highly specific. You need a folded towel to stand on with one foot, that creates the unstable footing, and then a variety of water bottles, a 500 milliliter, a 1 liter, and a 2 liter. You stand on the towel, hold a bottle, and swing it back and forth or overhead. And here's the kicker. You shouldn't just use the heaviest bottle. You actually need to mix up the sizes. Think about it. In real life, you pick up light things and heavy things interchangeably, right? Mixing the weights dynamically trains your hips and your upper body to stabilize and handle those totally unpredictable daily tasks.
Then there's the split stand-up. Think of it as a deep, targeted lunge. The exact mechanics here are super vital. You must focus strictly on the glutes, your buttocks, and not let your front thighs do all the heavy lifting. Actually placing a hand right on your glute while doing this ensures you can physically feel the muscle contracting. And a massive, practical reminder here, do this barefoot. Slipping during this exercise is a recipe for disaster, so ditch the socks and really grip the floor.
So, the crucial point as we wrap up, let's talk about safe practice and some final medical precautions. If you already have hip pain, prioritize seeing an orthopedic surgeon. This routine is for extending the health span of healthy hips. I want to be crystal clear on this. This explainer provides a preventative roadmap to maximize the lifespan of your joints, but it is not a medical cure. If you're already experiencing disease or pain in your hips, jumping straight into these exercises could actually make it worse. Please go see a professional first, get proper treatment, and then come back to this routine once you're officially cleared to build up your strength. Well, that brings us to the end of our journey today, so I'll leave you with this. What small step will you take today to ensure your hips carry you comfortably for the next 70 years? Your physical independence is entirely in your hands. I highly encourage you to start with step 1 and just assess your baseline balance today. And hey, feel free to re-watch this explainer anytime you need a daily guide to walk you through the steps. Thanks so much for joining me, and here's to keeping you moving smoothly for decades to come.